Everyone tells you that French pastry takes days. They tell you it requires a degree from a prestigious culinary institute and the patience of a saint. They are wrong. Today, we are going to show you the 10-minute honeycomb secret that global factories use to churn out millions of perfect croissants, and we are going to do it right in your home kitchen. If you have ever felt frustrated by a soggy crust or a flat, heavy pastry, this is the moment that changes everything. We aren't here to give you another flowery recipe that leaves you guessing. We are here to talk about the mechanics of perfection. French cooking is often treated like a mystery, but in reality, it is a series of predictable physical and chemical reactions. Once you understand the physics, the frustration disappears. We have analyzed the chemistry of 240 layers to find the moisture gap that separates a masterpiece from a mess. No fluff, just the mechanical leverage you need to master the art of the kitchen. Let's start with a secret that most cookbooks get wrong. Stop using fresh milk for your dough. When you visit a large-scale croissant factory, you won't see cartons of whole milk. You will see massive bags of powdered milk. Why? Because powdered milk is dehydrated. It allows you to have absolute microscopic control over the moisture content of your mixture. This is especially vital in the summer when heat and humidity can ruin your dough structure. By using cold water and powdered milk, you ensure that your dough remains smooth, elastic, and ready for the intricate steps ahead. The journey of a perfect croissant actually begins with the flour. Professional-grade results require flour that has been milled and sifted multiple times until it reaches a fineness of about 8 millimeters. This level of precision allows the flour to absorb liquids instantly and blend into a seamless dough. In massive industrial mixers, the speed is carefully adjusted from low to high over 10 minutes. This ensures the ingredients combine without clumping before building that essential elastic strength.
Now, let's talk about the soul of French cuisine, butter. But not just any butter. If you were using standard grocery store sticks with 80% fat, you have already set yourself up for failure. To get that iconic shatter, you need European-style butter with a fat content of at least 83%. This isn't about being fancy, it's about lamination. That extra 3% of fat means less water. Less water means the butter won't steam away too early, allowing those beautiful thin layers of dough and fat to stack perfectly without leaking or becoming greasy. The magic happens in the folding. Each time you fold and roll, you are creating alternating layers. After several repetitions, a single sheet of dough can contain up to 240 thin, evenly spaced layers. This is what creates the internal honeycomb structure. When that pastry hits the oven at 350 degrees, the moisture in the butter transforms into steam, physically pushing those layers apart and creating the light, airy puff that defines a world-class croissant. But French mastery isn't just about pastries. Consider the classic Lyonnaise potato. Most beginners boil their potatoes, slice them, and wonder why they aren't crispy. Here is the mechanical fix that makes all the difference. Boil your potatoes whole, but peel them while they are still warm. This specific technique creates white, rough edges on the surface of the potato. Those rough edges act like tiny sponges that absorb the oil and butter, turning into a golden, glass-like crunch when they finally hit the pan. Pacing is everything in the kitchen. For Lyonnaise potatoes, you must fry your onions until they are well browned, then set them aside. When the potatoes enter the pan, they need space, one single layer at a time. This ensures every white, rough edge makes contact with the heat. Once they start to brown, you add a knob of butter. This is the state change method, from pale to golden brown. Only then do you toss the onions and fresh parsley back in to reheat.
We also need to look at the forensic side of cooking. Why do recipes fail? Most of the time, it comes down to ignoring the moisture gap or the temperature. Every cut in your process should be a deliberate response to a state change. You are looking for the moment dough becomes elastic or the moment butter goes from a solid block to a shimmering liquid. If you skip the rest periods, you are fighting the physics of gluten.
A rest in the cold at 55 degrees isn't just a suggestion, it is a requirement for the layers to stabilize. This is what we call the strategic vacuum. By removing the ego and the personality from the process and focusing entirely on the materiality of the food, we see the kitchen for what it really is, a laboratory of sensory experiences. You don't need a celebrity chef to show you how to whisk an egg or glaze a tart. You need to hear the shatter of the crust and see the bubble of the sauce. That is where the real learning happens. This approach is what provides global appeal. Whether you are in a home kitchen or a professional bakery, the physics of a baguette or a beef bourguignon remain the same. By focusing on high-fidelity techniques and the core and pivot strategy, we can take a search-heavy staple like a croissant and pivot it into something modern, like a no-sugar apple cake or an air fryer hack, without losing the traditional soul of the dish. As you have seen, French cooking isn't about the person behind the stove. It is about the physics of the food itself. When you master the moisture, control the fat, and respect the state changes, you don't need a culinary degree to be a category king. You just need the right roadmap. The era of intimidating, snobbish cooking is over. We have democratized the art by focusing on the mechanics. The full forensic breakdown of these techniques is waiting for you. Once you see the science behind the steam and the fat, you will never look at an onion or a block of butter the same way again. Start focusing on the mechanics, stop worrying about the mistakes, and let the food speak for itself. We will see you in the kitchen.